How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and Auto Camp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Spin, Shuffle, Skip on the There Can Only Be One podcast channel and a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. You know, one of the cool things about this show is talking about bands that didn't really get the attention that maybe you think they deserve. Some bands don't get the limelight. Some bands don't get that Taylor Swift treatment. Some bands slug it out, put out good albums, but they don't get the recognition they deserve. So on a show like this, we occasionally take time to shine the light on some of those albums that you may have missed from bands that you definitely should have listened to at the time. This is one of those episodes because we're talking about the band is Caroline's Spine. The album is Attention Please. The co-host for the show is my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Can I have your attention, please?
Absolutely. Just like I hope that the audience has ours. Because this is a fan-freaking-tastic album. Like, I remember listening to the radio, and this is before Shazam existed, so you can imagine the pain and suffering one went through. When you listen to a radio, and all of a sudden the song comes on, you have no idea who it is, and you can't just pull out your phone because it's 1999 that this album came out. And you're like, who the hell is? And you wait for the DJ to come back on and they don't say who it is. And then you constantly are waiting to hear that song ever again. And then you finally find it like, oh, this is the song. The song at the time, of course, was Nothing to Prove off of this album. And I had to find this album and I got it. And it's freaking, this is, you remember how a couple episodes ago I talked about Let's Build Something to Break by the After Midnight Project. And I called that album a perfect album. Caroline Spine's Attention Please is also, personal opinion, a perfect album. Front to back, all killer, no filler. And I know I played this album in the car a lot. Your thoughts on this disc as a whole?
I absolutely agree with you. And I know I can end there.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, the bigger challenge is like the spin and the shuffle. Because, I mean, there was one song that stood out to me that I could easily skip.
Mm-hmm.
But for the rest of the album, it is all spin.
Yeah. It's so freaking good. Now, I mean, if you've never heard of Caroline Spine, I'll say this. If you like Collective Soul, you're probably going to like this album because they do have a very kind of a heavier Collective Soul kind of vibe. Like, it was really good radio rock, and I don't know why this band didn't get the attention that it deserved.
The vocalists was
Jimmy
like,
Newquist,
had
yeah.
an iconic sound.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I'm trying to think of a good example, like a good comparison, but what an incredible voice.
Yeah, it kind of fit into the Nixons kind of vibe. They did remind me a little bit of Zach Malloy's vocals. And maybe that's why I really dug into this album, because you mix stuff like the Nixons in there and Collective Soul, and it's like, yeah, I'm into that. Like, and very much like this, the Secret Samadhi album from Live, like that kind of chunk in some of these songs. So there's a lot of great comparables for this disc, but the disc on its own stands alone. So let me give you a little background here. The album was released August 17th, 1999. This is Caroline Spine's second major label album, but their sixth album overall. Now, a lot of those albums contain re-recordings of older songs, so that's why we can't really do a There Can Only Be One on this band, because there's a lot of songs that are duplicated over different albums. The band at the time is Jimmy Newquist, Mark Hoff, Jason Gilardi, and Scott Jones. There were 2 singles in total of this one. The lead-off single, Attention Please, hit number 30 on the mainstream rock charts, with Nothing to Prove hitting number 23. So, Carrie, going to start with you. And you said that this album is all spin, and I don't disagree with that. But you had to pick one. What's your spin pick?
I'm going to go with Deep in Your Wake. And I really juggled this one. It was like, Attention Please is just freaking iconic. And it's the lead off song off of this album.
Perfect album opener, yes.
It is. And then followed by Deep in Your Wake, Nothing to Prove being the third one, Ready, Set, Go. I mean, I could literally read all of the songs on this album and put it up there in high regard, but I had to pick one, and I'm going to give it to Deep in Your Wake. It's so powerful.
It is powerful as hell. And I love the fact that Attention Please kind of bleeds into this. And this is a punchy song, like really punchy song.
You know, it's funny you say that, because honestly, I always thought that it was the same. It was just a continuation of Attention Please.
Because I also listen to a lot of Dream Theater in the car, so you think that all songs are 20 minutes long.
Well, exactly.
But no, this song is pure energy. And I love, they do within this song what Live does a lot, which is that you get to like the last kind of choruses, and they'll go up like a fourth or a fifth to change the key a little bit. And it adds that almost like shifting into a higher gear, even though the tempo stays the same. It's my spin as well. Now, this is what I found interesting. There's a lot of songs on this disc that I'm like, oh, that would be so good live. It'd be so good live. And admittedly, there are a lot of shows that Caroline Spine played that are listed on setlist.fm, but they don't have the set list listed. So it's not an accurate portrayal. But according to setlist.fm, this song never made a set list.
Oh?
So I don't know if this was one of those ones that just didn't make the set lists a lot. And the last show that they had listed was in 2020. So I pray that maybe Caroline Spine kind of gets back to playing some shows at some point, because this is still 26 years later, a killer freaking album. And Deep in Your Wake is a song I would love to hear live.
I'd love to hear more. I'd love to hear new stuff.
Yeah, get on it there, Caroline Spine, damn it. So since you took my spin pick, I get to go straight to my shuffle. So to me, the hardest things on an album like this that are to pick is the spin, because you have to sit there and go, well, what song is like the best among great songs? The skip is also ridiculously hard, because in some cases in an album like this, you're picking a song because you're forced to. So the shuffle is basically the rest of the album, and it could change on any day. But I'm going to ask you a question. When you listen to a song, like you got the headphones on and all that, do you close your eyes and try to visualize what a music video would look like?
On occasion, if the song strikes me as telling a story that needs visuals, then yeah, sometimes I do.
See, I do that a lot. Because
I know you do.
I know, because when I was growing up, I wanted to be a music video director, because music videos were the coolest damn thing, and they still are. I just wish music videos held the prominence that they used to back in the day. And it's funny, because my pick was actually also on a soundtrack, but the visual I have in my head doesn't necessarily match what I think the movie would look like, even though the movie is An American Werewolf in Paris. I'm going with Turned Blue.
Okay.
Killer song. But as I watch or I listen to the song and I play the music video in my head of what I think it should be. Did you ever watch the show Criminal on Netflix? I think I showed it to you once. David Tennant was in the first season, which is probably why I showed it to you. But each episode is basically an interrogation of a criminal. And it's basically all takes place in the time that they have their suspect in the interrogation room. So it's very much like a head gamey chess piece kind of show. And I envision this as someone who starts off in the interrogation room trying to tell a story of how he was found with this dead body, and then eventually confesses to the murder at the end.
Ooh, intriguing.
Yeah. I mean, like, and you could argue that maybe it's a vampire thing as well, because an American Werewolf on Paris, why not, right? But it's whatever. I think Turned Blue is way more cinematic than most people might give it. I would have loved to have seen a music video for this. It's also just a killer chunky bass riff to begin with, but Turned Blue hits all the buttons for me for what I like in a song. Over to you. What's your shuffle pick?
I could quite easily script and visualize and direct the music video for Work. The Work song. But definitely it tells the story of, well, let's be honest, for the most part, your day jobbers, right? Office workers that it just, the the business need a suit of armor for a meeting because you're going to take a beating.
Understaffed and our department's in a crunch.
It is, everything from like fighting with the paper, the printer, paper jam. There is no paper jam. You just don't want to work. It's the story. It's the tale of office workers and just everything that has to do with that.
Dear listeners, do you hate your job? Because I'm going to read some of these lyrics here. And if you hate your job, you're going to find a friend in this song. You started it. Need a suit of armor for a meeting. Know I'm going to take a beating. Understaffed and my department's in a crunch. Budget has become a hassle. Boss is ripping me a new asshole. Says he wants an answer on his desk before lunch. Right now, people are sitting there like they're having PTSD. Just listening to this. But let me get to the end here. The end of day, there's no solution. Face traffic and pollution. Put a smile on my face, I didn't get fired. Back at home to clear my head, I grab a drink, fall into bed.
40 more years until I get to retire. Yes. Yes.
The monotony is killing me, and I try to deny this corporate lobotomy. This song is a freaking anthem. And it's an anthem for anyone who cannot stand their day-to-day 9 to 5. And bravo, good sirs. Bravo. This song, I can imagine there are many a highway at 5 p.m. with this song cranked in the car.
If not, there should be.
There should be. That should literally be like, you know how like some radio stations at 5 o'clock, they have like the end of day song. Play that. I dare you. Play that. All right. So now we go back to you, Carrie, your skip pick off of this.
Again, this one was probably the easiest pick for me. And it's all based on the lyrics. It's all the story that it tells. And I'm going to pick True Star. As the last song on the album, I just kind of felt like the album is such a high. And then it kind of ends on a bit of a downer. The song is essentially about war And I don't know if it's just me overthinking, but it's so incredibly sad. And where the world is going and the state of the world today, it's like, how has no one learned anything at this point? Like,
I mean, it wouldn't be
how
the
is
first
it
time.
still an issue?
It wouldn't be the first time that they've actually done a song about war. Sullivan is very much about war, and that's a heartbreaker for anyone who has lost anyone in any kind of war. That song is just a gut punch. And True Star was on my short list of skip picks because it was an odd transition for me going from chorus to verse in that, but I ended up going with a different song for my skip. And I say that knowing that I'm picking a song because I have to pick a song. Because on any other day, if you played me Happy Without You off of this album, I'd be like, okay, it's a good song. Sad, but it's a good song. It's the shortest song on the album, 2 minutes and 46 seconds long. But to me, it feels like it needs more. It feels like it needs a bridge. It feels like it needs some kind of build. And this is a personal opinion of mine. And I'm going to ask you this question. Allow me to give you the option. If you had a song that had a natural ending to it, or a song that faded out at the end, which would you prefer?
That's a great question. Now, when you say a natural ending, it's not a fade out. It's like a wind down,
it's more like a ring out kind of thing. You know, like there's a natural end to the, like how you would hear it live, because songs don't fade out live. The band stops playing at some point. So that would be a natural ending. I want a song that feels like it would, that would be the ending of it live, even if they kind of mess with it or jam with it a bit. Happy Without You needs more. It needs to be a longer song. It needs to have just a bit. It feels like they wrote half the song and then they're like, well, how do we end the song? I don't know. It's faded out. It's, I like the song. Don't get me wrong. I like the song, but it needs about another 30 seconds in the song. Give it something more to elevate it. Because sitting at the number 10 spot, you got 2 songs left. It feels like a moment where you want something a little bit more epic. Happy Without You could have had that epic vibe to it, but they didn't add the epicness to it. And I'm really freaking nitpicking because I do think that there are no weak spots on this album. But I made the game and I had to play by the game. Damn it. But here we are, and I picked a song. And for the spin, yeah, Deep in Your Wake, absolutely. The shuffle could be any song off of this disc. It's that good. All right, Carrie, remind our listeners what your spin, shuffle, and skip picks are from Attention Please by Caroline Spine.
I am spinning Deep in Your Wake. I am shuffling the work song probably daily at 5 p.m.
At 5 p.m.
And I am skipping True Star.
All right, I am also spinning Deep in Your Wake. I am shuffling Turned Blue, and I am skipping on Happy Without You. Not because I don't like it, but because I have to skip on something. Now, if you haven't heard this album, go to our website, notthatbadcast.com, and check out the episode link for this show, for this episode that you're listening to. Underneath at the bottom of the page, you're going to find the playlist for this album from Spotify. So by all means, give this disc a dive, listen to the band, follow them, and maybe, hopefully, maybe there's new music in there somewhere for them. I truly hope so. Carrie, thank you so much for this. And for you, our dear listeners, well, you guys know the drill. If there's an album that you want us to cover on Spin, Shuffle, Skip, or an artist that you want us to cover on, there can only be one. Hit us up on social media at Only One Cast, or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com and be sure to subscribe so you get notified every time we post something new. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is Spin Shuffle Skip on the There Can Only Be One podcast channel and a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.